I'd like to call the City of LaPorte Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. It is 9:05 a.m. on September 3rd, 2025, if you can believe it. We'll begin with the pledge. If Wendy from the Learning Tree would lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Member Romine?
Here.
Mayor Dermody?
Here.
Member Kosher?
Here.
All present.
Approval of meeting minutes for August 19th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment, I do not have any comment cards here. Anything?
Nothing online yet.
I know at the council meeting last night, people seemed to message as soon as the meeting's over and we're all out of the building. So I want to make sure I give everybody opportunity. Clerk Treasurer, claims approval.
We have Civil City payroll from 8/29 in the amount of $557,573.67.
I move we approve the Civil City payroll.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
We have Civil City claims in the amount of $723,037.89.
I move we approve the Civil City claims.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes.
Sewage claims in the amount of $351,944.14.
I move we approve the sewage claims.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And then water claims in the amount of $209,892.38.
Move we approve the water claims.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And then one more thing, if I might ask.
You may.
We, again, are working through, we get our fuel from WEX now. The statement's cut at the beginning of the month, so claims are coming in. We're just asking that we're able to immediate pay those WEX claims as they come in.
I'll make a motion to approve immediate payment of WEX.
Second.
Discussion.
So will those then show up on claims later, or?
They'll show up on the next docket, but we want to pay it now so that there's no interruption of service.
Okay.
Yeah,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Treasurer Parthone. New business. We will be skipping department head report today so that all of us can be to the county commissioners meeting to celebrate the National Guard's announcement for their investment, further investment in LaPorte. We are a military community. We support our law and order and military, so we're excited to go to the county commissioners and support the decision that will be announced here in about an hour. So with that, Clerk Treasurer, if you'd like to discuss the favorite topic of yours is propane.
Okay, yes, it's a favorite topic of mine. So Transport is currently on a contract with Feral Gas that ends December 31st of this year. The state's quantity purchase agreement, the state's QPA, has Feral Gas available as a state contract. It's been extended for 1 year, so it's good through October 22nd, 2026. So I'm asking for board approval upon the ending of the current contract that we bid out, I don't know, what was that, 3-4 years ago? To utilize the state's QPA for liquid propane fuel. The pricing for that fuel contract updates every Tuesday. You guys got a 50-page document, so it really is just, since the beginning of that contract, it just updates the fuel price every Tuesday. That's what that contract showed. The one thing I wanted to note is that it says, tanks cannot be replaced or removed until all existing fuel has been used. In locations where tanks are not owned by the state agency, vendor agrees to provide a tank at no cost. We currently have a feral gas tank at the transport facility, so we're just working through making sure we can keep that tank.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So it's subject to using the existing tank.
It says right in this QPA that the vendor has to provide a tank, so I'm assuming that that's the answer, but we're just confirming that.
And nothing will change from Farrell's perspective with the equipment that we have, because we've had some issues there. This should hook up fine.
I would assume so.
Perfect.
Nick is shaking his head yes.
That's their responsibility.
yep.
right?
Okay. Fantastic.
Further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
You know, good news, we've been evaluating different properties, and when we have great partners to work with, it makes a lot of sense for government to look at putting properties they own back on the tax rolls and providing positive opportunities in the future, and we have one of those in front of us. So Craig Phillips.
Good morning. Yes, so we have a public bid offering that was advertised twice prior to this meeting for 2510 Monroe Street. As you know, that's currently the daycare facility. So our affidavit of publication proves that we advertised this on August 15th and August 22nd of 2025. And we received, looks like we received one bid.
Drum roll, Craig, if you could provide while announcing.
All right. So we received one bid from Philip Jenkins in the amount of $515,000. There were a list of qualifications that needed to be met. It looks like those, a narrative has been provided that shows those. The non-collusion affidavit has been signed, and supporting documentation. So, looks like this is in order. I think based on that, I would request that we award this bid to Philip Jenkins pending final review by our attorney. If that's okay with Mr. Otis, if you think that's all right in this case.
And then bring it back at the next meeting for approval, or not?
We could approve it today if you're comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable.
I mean, if you want to review it real quick and take a look, and
But we could just approve it today, and then pending legal,
Pending
so you
review.
don't have to bring it back to
we've
us
done in the
again.
past in some cases, yes.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Further comments?
So does that come in line with what we would expect based upon the
Yes,
property
the,
value?
average of the two appraisals that we had done on the property was $502,500. So it's above that amount, needed to be at least that amount or more, so it does comply with that.
And that does not include the cost of what I think is going to be needed as a new roof at the
Yeah, as
building.
the narrative states, there's a substantial amount of investment that's being put into the property as a part of this proposal.
Were there any criteria on expected use?
Yes, we wanted it to remain the same, that it would remain a daycare that was operated by a for-profit entity, and then there were some other qualifications with regard to the certifications at the state level, and a track record with regard to running these types of facilities. So those were in this bid specs.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, we were all part of the process when we were looking for alternatives for childcare. the Learning Tree from Valparaiso. Wendy and her team stepped up, not only filled the void, but now I think has improved the child care programs in our community and changing lives in our kids and our future. And to see that they're willing to invest in our community, I think is tremendous. And Wendy, the Learning Tree is here. If you don't mind coming up, say a few words, give us an update on how things are going and for our kids, our little ones in the future. And you're also at Lincoln School, and that's also we'd love to hear about.
Did a partnership with the school system.
Could you
So-
state your name and address for the record?
Oh, Wendy Jenkins, 420 East, 415 North, in Valpo, 46383. So we came into this community about a year and a half ago, and it has been a wonderful experience. Everyone is happy, the parents are happy, we're making partnerships with with companies here in LaPorte, and we have grown enrollment from almost 4 times what it was. And our staff, Abby, who's Director of Operations,
Abby, give us a wave.
and Corey, who's the Director of the
Corey,
Learning
there you
Tree on Monroe Street. So, our team, we have the lowest turnover anywhere in our companies. We own 4 daycare companies, and in LaPorte, on Monroe, and, well, Lincoln just opened up, but we haven't had any turnover in quite a while. So it's been wonderful. Like, the people here in LaPorte are very committed to the children and the education that we provide. And I'm actually very excited.
And how many children at Lincoln now?
Actually, it's over half full already. So we were like, well, we're still waiting on a fence. So we have to get a fence before we can get totally licensed. But we, 64? 64. And we're at 47. 45. So we're at 45. So we're almost full at there. Wow. And then we are starting like different programs, the STEM program. We're trying to get kids where when they hit kindergarten level, the teachers can see the difference. And I told Dr. Wood, wait till you see these kids that are coming from our daycare. They are kindergarten ready. So we want them to succeed and grow the confidence that they need. So thank you for giving us this opportunity to stay here permanently.
Well, we can't wait with this investment, and then when you buy your house here, we're so excited for
I
you.
know.
It'll be an easy drive.
Well, we're doing a new roof, so we got a whole bunch of bids in, so we're doing a new roof, new siding, and then the brick is getting, I'm sure you guys know the property, so the brick was kind of crumbling, we're getting all that fixed and painted, so it's gonna look beautiful. Hopefully by the end of the year is my goal.
And as well, I think the council approved last night buses being allowed to pull up on the east side
Really?
to Lincoln, to
Oh,
east side of Clay to drop off
right.
kids. So
Yes.
that was approved last night.
Well, good. Thank you for working with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you,
So
Wendy.
Lincoln will probably be full by, I assume, definitely before next school year, but I'm thinking by Christmas. So, thank you, guys.
And if you need the police and fire, they love to come meet the kids and
Oh,
bring
we've
their
absolutely,
vehicles.
remember that time that, we were fixing the smoke detector, or what is it called, the fire alarms, do you remember that? And they all showed up, and the kids, and I'm like, it was a false alarm, but since you're here, can you say hi to the kids? So, they came in and they, the kids were very excited.
Thank you.
Early
Thank you.
recruitment, right?
That's right.
Thank you,
Mr. Phillips,
Wendy.
anything else?
No, that's it.
And have we approved it?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Bert Cook, Amendment to Development Agreement.
Good morning to the Board of Public Works. Bert Cook, Executive Director of the LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership. So in front of you today, you have an amendment to a development agreement. I'll start by just clarifying. So this is a redevelopment commission project. We call it PIN Fusion, but it is the Family Fun Center that is working to develop in Newport Landing. although it's a redevelopment commission project, we do have aspects of the development agreement which are governed by the city proper. And so we're presenting this amendment to both the Board of Public Works and the City Council as well. The redevelopment commission took action at their last meeting. Council took action last night, and now we present it to you as the Board of Public Works. It's a very minor change, better aligning our timelines on the project. So if you notice, the deviation from the original development agreement occurs under Section 7, which is their construction timeline. It states the developer shall begin construction no later than April 1st of 2026. That aligns with another provision of the purchase agreement, which is not in front of you, but the redevelopment commission took action on, which set their closing date at the end of this year, 12/31 of 2025. They are preparing for closing as we speak, but they are running up against the original deadline for that. We've given them quite a bit of space in order to make sure we don't have to come back in front of your body and the other bodies to ask for another extension. So we think this is plenty of time in order to get the closing done, and then that gives them a window between the end of closing, between the closing on the property and the beginning of their construction project, which again must start by April 1st. Happy to answer questions if you have them about either the project or this amendment.
As I said last night, and this is probably the number one question we hear from our residents is, when is this going to open for the kids? When is it going to open for the kids? So obviously, it's an exciting project in the community, especially when you have two local developers that are investing back here. So with that, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Was there a expected completion date of, like, you know, to Mayor Dermody's point, like, of when they would expect to open based upon that April 1st beginning of construction?
I don't know that we've actually like stipulated that. I mean, I'll look at Nick Minnick, but my guess would be, you know, you're talking fall, end of summer, early fall of next year is just based on like normal
Got it, yeah,
construction
okay.
timelines. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, so Nick Minnick has done a tremendous job and a ton of work assisting on this project, both on the project itself, but also the public infrastructure that surrounds this, which is an important part of the project as well. So I want to make sure I thank Nick for his work.
I met with their design build contractor recently, and they do anticipate starting construction yet this fall ideally, and then I think the goal is to be open, you know, end of next summer. So it's a
Yeah, I'm
pretty
sure
aggressive
they're-
schedule, but I think everybody's excited.
I'm sure they're ready to be open as soon as they can too, to start the,
It's been and it's easy for me to say this because we only touch very small portions of the project, but I know, you know, Ben Conowitz, Ryan Hart, Ashley Hart, they've been working tirelessly on this, so I know they're excited. They've really followed a great path too. They've done all the appropriate work on the front end to make sure this project's a success, so excited to see it move forward for them.
You know, as somebody who has kids that are right in the wheelhouse for a place like this, it's pretty exciting. But, I mean, those guys just started this as something they just genuinely enjoyed doing and not worried about, I'm sure they're worried about making money, but like just did it because they liked it. And it's pretty awesome to see that they've pulled themselves up the way they have with this project.
I've heard Nick, Attorney Otis, reference his kids a few times, but last time I was at Full Tilt, he was pretty skilled at all the games, so I think he's put plenty of time in over there.
Further comments? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nick Minnick, exciting times. I know people are going to be excited about Slicer Pathway.
Yes, so we did open bids for rebid for Slicer. We opened bids, it was a rebid for Slicer Pathway. We received 4 bids. We had both a base bid and an alternative bid. The alternative bid didn't include, there's a section we were going to widen the road in order to put the pathway in. We did an alternate where we did just a sidewalk, well, a wide sidewalk. So it's still very nice, but end up being a little bit less money too. So I would recommend award to Gary Up Construction in the amount of $288,700, and that is for the alternate bid. And I have a bid tabulation that I can email over to you guys too.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
discussion, didn't we have an issue with Gary up with flowers or with the, by the lake?
We had some issues before with kind of some specialty work with restoration along a shoreline. We don't have that here. Their work is generally very, very good. And it was just kind of some miscommunication, I think, between them and a sub and us to get what we really needed. But every other project I've been involved in, they've been wonderful to work with.
And they're clear on our expectations.
Yep.
When do they see this beginning?
They know it's a project that needs to happen as soon as possible.
Like this fall?
Yes, yep.
That's excellent.
Then, can you just go over the difference between like the initial bid and the alternate in terms of what we're sort
Yeah.
of giving up to save?
Yeah. So in the base bid, the section between, the section along, along 8th Street, basically next to the bus barn, between the bus barn and the cemetery. So that one, we had looked at widening out the road and then having kind of pylons and paint and then
Like
having a-
18th Street has, right? I mean, for a portion.
Almost exactly like
Yeah.
18th Street. But we wouldn't have the grass median. So instead of having the kind of, I think it ended up being about a 8-foot asphalt pathway, it'll be a 6-foot concrete pathway instead. So it's a little bit
Separate
narrower.
from the roadway, though,
Separate
right?
from the road, though. So I think there's benefits to doing it this way as well. I think either one is acceptable. The problem is our concrete prices are all over the place. So we did that initially in asphalt to try and save money on the project, but it ended up costing more just based on the bids, so.
And just for the members' edification, as a reminder, it'll go up A Street through the outside, exterior of the cemetery.
Yep, it'll be on the west side of the street along A Street in the cemetery, and then it'll turn and go along 8th, which there's no sidewalk there currently, and then it'll kind of connect up to the existing sidewalk by Kiwanis, and then it'll fill the sidewalk gap between Kiwanis and the high school. It's really crazy. I mean, I walked that, I don't know how many times when I was in high school, and I mean, there's still not a sidewalk there. Students walk that to go to gym at Kiwanis, they do, but there's still not a sidewalk there. So it's only 30, 40, 50 years overdue, so.
And I don't know if you see it, but how many kids are walking in the street on A Street along the cemetery to the bus barn, or the former bus barn?
There's probably even more traffic on A with the current Indiana Ave construction too.
Yeah. And this does also, not necessarily the wider path, but a kind of a standard 4-foot walk fills the gap in front of the bus barn up to where the sidewalk ends about half a block north of there too. If we needed to do any value engineering, that's paid separately because that isn't part of the grant. We were gonna use ADA funds, which we have some other projects for, so we'll work with Courtney and her office on funding that gap. But it does fill that, so A Street will have a continuous sidewalk the whole way, not just next to the cemetery up to 8th.
And just clarification, you don't have to get nervous, this will not be done in orange.
It will not be done in orange, no. Unless should it be done in orange? I can get a hold of them, let them know.
With that, I do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Road blades.
Chessie, Railroad.
So we did an agreement with Norfolk Southern. It was a couple of years ago, and they wanted to revise that because we hadn't actually gotten started. We have our consultant in order, we have our funds in order finally through NERC, so we do need to revise our agreement with Norfolk Southern. The original cost was right around $50,000. It's now $58,839. So it's about $8,000 more because it's a couple of years later. I think it's reasonable. We do get 80-20 matching funds for this. We'll have to work with NERC to make sure all of those are in order, but I would recommend approval of this agreement so that they can start review and we can get that last section of the Chessie next to the Norfolk Southern Rail, that gap filled.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, and I think the other part of that, you probably have to do it again because I think Norfolk is being acquired. So,
If we move quickly, we won't.
all in favor?
So how quickly can they move on this? Like, is that's more,
Yeah, good.
This is one of the rare instances where they reached out to us and said, hey, are you guys ready? We're ready. That usually doesn't happen. So I think they want to wrap this up. They know it's out there. They've wanted to be a good partner lately, so we're trying to ride that wave and get them to review in a timely fashion.
3 years old.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Motion passes. Jerry Jackson, unique, backup grant on Michigan Ave. I don't know if I've seen one of those.
It's been a while. We've had some on, Michigan's combined sewer, so we've had, and Indiana Avenue makes provisions to separate sewers on Michigan, so when we get that all funded, we'll run up Michigan and won't have these anymore, but
Because I only know of one problem resident on Michigan Ave, so.
well, this address is 1529 Michigan, not the one you're referencing. The amount of the grant is $4,975. The city's share would be $3,981.25, and the homeowner share would be $993.75. I'd recommend approval.
And this was due to one of the heavy rains?
It was. They got a backup in the basement and got flooded.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Comments? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Request to solicit quotes.
I'd like to solicit quotes to replace our primary sludge pumps. This was part of the Headworks project that I'm still working through on how to do that more cost effectively, and so that project is sitting on the side for a moment, but we still need to replace the pumps. My crew believes, and I believe they can replace these pumps in-house with our labor. So if we buy the pumps, they'll replace them, and that'll save us a considerable amount of money. The one pump is vintage 1987. We keep that one kind of in reserve. And the other one is 1999, so they're well past their date. I've been shopping around and I found some pumps that I think can go in easily. So I'd like to solicit quotes. They'll be less than $150,000 for the pair for two of them, so we can get under the quote limit.
Jerry, so a question, if we don't replace these, and one were to, because I assume one could go down, or if not both of them, what happens at that point if both go down?
These move solids from our settling tanks, and eventually they would accumulate in the tank and then overload, and it would flow out and upset the next process, which is the biological process. So at some point, we'd stop meeting our limitations and potentially get fined by item.
And then what does that mean to the residents?
Well, fines are bad because we got to pay them, but then downstream, the water downstream then won't meet quality. And so we'd be polluting downstream Travis Ditch and the Kankakee River.
Because I know this is a struggle, because you see the NIPSCO increases, you see costs going up. But we knew coming into this 5 years ago that we had a $100 million problem between water and wastewater that had to be addressed. And the only way we address these are with our water and sewer rates. And if we don't start addressing these problems and the headworks, this is what can happen. And we've already seen through backup programs and waste coming back up through the basement and the streets and everywhere else, floods of water, that these improvements have to be made. And that's why, you hate to say it, either you don't do this work and you cause health issues in the community, or you increase water, you increase sewer, and make those tough decisions so that these improvements, that the majority, if not all that money, goes back into infrastructure to keep our community safe. And I think that's where I stand. I'm welcome to speak to any residents that are opposed to that do not want to see sewer improved or water, improved. But I think we have to do things like this and continue to do it on a broader scale. So do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Further comment?
Well, just, so I appreciate, and I'm by no means an expert in any of this, but I appreciate the fact that when we're looking at doing these things, that you've got, first of all, staff that has the ability to install, in which will help save some money to make it a little, kind of leverage the skill and expertise to save the city money, but yet still get the improvements that we're looking for. So, I mean, I think that's a great way to approach this, to try to solve these problems. So thank you for that, and to your team.
I got a good crew, and, often the rule of thumb is half the cost of a job, half the cost of equipment, half the cost of installation.
Labor.
So that kind of gives you an idea of how much savings you
Yeah,
have by
that's
doing it
huge.
in-house.
Well, and it seems like we're already on borrowed time. How long is the pump supposed to last traditionally?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
All right.
These are pretty well maintained, and we've replaced parts and keep them going, but yeah, this is a long time past. They're well depreciated.
Yeah, 1987.
Yeah.
That's old.
Hey,
For a pump.
further comments? All in favor?
Okay.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Then last, betterment cost estimate.
The Board of Works already approved this agreement, now the NDOT wants to formalize it. This is a mixture of water and sewer projects, or stormwater, mostly stormwater, that gives us better ability to do sewer separation on the corridor on either side of Indiana Avenue. And then it also makes some provisions to extend water south down to our Microsoft project along. So it's both water and sewer. The amount, storm is $154,091.14. The water portion is $7,590.65. And as I mentioned, the Board of Works has already approved this, and now NDOT's got the formal agreement they'd ask us to sign.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tim Werner.
Yes, thank you, and good
Tim
morning.
Werner.
Thank you, and good morning to the board. In front of you have a proposal for a PER, preliminary engineering report for 39 North, the Briarleaf Tower, Severs Road elevated tank, and Severs Road water main. I spoke with Nice this morning. They're about halfway done with the paperwork for the for SRF, and they're only about at $14,000 right now. So I see this number coming in well below that, as long as the state, we don't have too many hiccups in the what they find out there. It could be archaeological or anything like that. So I'm just asking permission for the board to sign this. That way we can fulfill our promises to the 39 North community.
Are we on task, meeting what we said we do?
Oh, for sure. Like I said, we, plans already, I'm sure people have seen survey crews out there. Everything's staked out. The property's been acquired, so we are moving forward with the project. Pretty good pace, actually.
And we're doing what we said we do.
100%.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Just the last comment before we close. We met, thanks to,
Could I didn't get something in department report, so could I do
Please.
other business very briefly?
please.
I know Jamie had a meeting yesterday. I think you were involved with Nest.
Yes.
They're looking at doing some improvements, and from time to time, we waive building permit fees for nonprofits. Goes through the Board of Works, so I would ask the
Thank
Board
you
of
for
Works
bringing this
to-
up.
Yeah, I'd ask Board of Works to waive permit fees for the Nest as they look at doing some improvements. So,
And that would be related to food, for water, be able to handle food in the building, at the depot building. It was a great success, having those that might just need a little love, affection, especially in the coldest nights of winter, that they have a place to go. Nest was phenomenal, and we've heard from our residents every day, take care of those in need. I think the Nest does an unbelievable job. They just want to take that next step, provide water, a sink, and to do work for food. right there. They'll pay for that, but I appreciate you doing that. It's a true partnership with the community and everybody involved. So I would support that. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Just as a reminder, 10 o'clock for everybody, great news for the National Guard, investing in our community at the commissioners' meeting. It won't be long, but I appreciate everybody going. As well, we had a meeting with all the elected officials from the county, or the majority of them, thanks to Courtney Parthune, the clerk treasurer for life. Baker Tilly came up and discussed what the future of our tax situation looks like. If we want our community to have low taxes, and we want people, they want to pay less, the only way to improve the tax situation, there's one way: growth. If we want good schools, if we still want our roads, if we want sidewalks, we must grow as a community. We've started to see LaPorte grow. With that means we in the city of LaPorte, as people have asked us to do on day one, be open for business. We are open for business. And I'm willing to have discussion with anybody that's in opposition to growth and what the real issues might be. So whether it's a data center, whether it's any type of business, we have to be willing to sit, meet, talk, and be open to improving our community every day. So if people have questions, I look forward to those. I hope we can be respectful. I hope we can have truthful discussions and all work together. But we're available 24/7. But I just want to make sure from the mayor's perspective that nobody misinterprets or misunderstands. We are open for business. And my cell is 363-7293 if you have questions. And any comments from the?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn?
There'll be some after the meeting.
Yes, of course.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. We'll see everybody there.